Step 1 in your preparation before you go looking for the apartment or house that you're looking to rent, okay, is to make sure that all 3 of your credit reports are accurate. Your credit reports are sort of like your financial report card of everything you've done since you've become an adult. And, if you've been an irresponsible adult, that'll show up. Or if you've been a responsible adult, that'll show up too, which is good. But you can't change if you've been irresponsible with your finances. You have to live with the consequences of it. But if you're in a situation that some person somewhere has made a mistake, or you have the same name as somebody else, all these kinds of things, they happen all the time on your credit reports. So if you look at yours, make sure it's all your stuff, it's all your correct history. At least you're getting evaluated on your own life. And you do need to check all 3 of your credit reports because you never know which one the landlord's going to look at. So you can get them all for free at annualcreditreport.com. It's simple, pretty quick. I highly recommend it. Know your current credit score. Your landlord is going to look. You might as well know what it is up front so that you can see whether you qualify for someplace before you get there. I mean, literally, if you know your credit score, you can ask the property manager, what is your minimum credit score? And if you don't qualify, you don't apply. But you can get a free credit score. A lot of times your credit card company, if you has them, your bank might have it for you, or you can just Google free credit score, and there's lots of sites that you can get a free credit score without having to sign up or pay for anything. So just do some research and get your own credit score so you know what it is. Another step, and these don't necessarily have to be done in this sequence, they just all need to be done before you go looking for a rental. This one is clean up your social media. Again, your landlord is most likely to do it. So if there are pictures or posts or anything out there that makes you look less than the responsible adult that they might want to rent their apartment or house to, it's time to take them down. And the other thing is, if you have friends that have you linked into their post of things that might not look so hot, again, it's time to clean it up, scrub it, take it down, and show yourself as a nice, responsible person in the adulting world. Number 4, and I'm hoping you're doing this before you start actually wanting to actually move out, because renting someplace takes a lot of money. And it takes a lot of money whether you've already been renting or if you're moving out, for the first time, because it really adds up. You look at all of these fees that are involved in a renting process. Your application fee. When you put in your application, they charge you, $50, $100 just to do your background check and see if you qualify. You have to pay a security deposit in most places. The security deposit is typically the same as your first month's rent, but it's not rent. It's money that you pay up front to the property manager, and they keep it until the end of your lease. And then if you've kept that place in good shape and you followed the rules and everything, if it's a refundable security deposit, you'll get it back. If it's non-refundable, then it's basically just increased rent that you had to pay before you moved in. I try to avoid those. Then you have to pay your first month's rent as soon as you find your place that you want to rent. And if you're moving in the middle of the month, you might have to pay for the end of the month and then, the whole next month. So that adds up too. Now, once you, get the place, you have to set up utilities, maybe internet, gas, electric, water, trash. You might have to put deposits down on those too in some sort of security deposit. You might have to prepay some of those depending on what your financial background is. All of this stuff starts adding up into thousands of dollars. Then let's get into the practical side of things. You've got the cost of moving. Do you need to hire a moving company to help you move? Do you at least need to, rent a truck in order to do it? Or do you have friends that can provide a truck? Do you need boxes? Do you need packing tape? Do you need to pay those friends either in money or pizza and beer or whatever the case may be? And if you're bringing along a pet companion, it gets even more expensive because most places will require a pet deposit and may increase your monthly rent as well for the privilege of having a pet. And then there's always the fees that they just keep finding reasons to add on. I recently saw one that was called a refurbishment fee. It was $400 that they charged the new renter up front And basically the landlord just kept it until the end, and that was used to, buy the paint and fix things up again once you moved out before the next renter moved in. So it was sort of a security deposit, but it was an additional fee in addition to the security deposit. So all these things add up to pretty big money. So hopefully you've been saving up and you're ready to move out. Step number 5, know how much you can afford to rent. Now, all the financial websites, or most of them, say, 25% of your take-home pay is a good, reasonable estimate of how much you should pay each month in rent. And your take-home pay is, as you can see in that paycheck, they make $500, they call it gross, but by the time they take out taxes and all the government fees and everything, they only get to take home $375. So $375, if you get paid 4 times a month, is, what you could afford in rent if you were this person, because that's 25% of your take-home pay. Some landlords will allow you to go up to like 33% of your take-home pay, but that's a trade-off, because if you're working all the time to pay the additional rent, if you're paying extra for that pool or that fitness center or all those recreational things, but you're spending all your time working, you're really not going to use them. So you might want to find a place that you can afford within that 25% bracket. Now, another solution to this is to get a roommate who contributes half the rent, and that gives you a lot more flexibility in what you can afford. Those are the 5 actions that I highly recommend that you take before you ever start looking for your rental place to move into. And we will go into how to find your great place in the next module, so please take a look for that. And again, all of the notes for this module, so that you can check them off as you do them, are in the description below this video.